And as it often does on the prairies at this time of year, the weather could be a factor here today. Hi everybody, I'm Jeff Courier and welcome to ESPN2 CFL coverage of the Edmonton Eskimos and the Toronto Argonauts. We're coming to you live from Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton, which is also the hometown of one of the greatest players ever in the CFL and one of its greatest ambassadors, number 42, Danny Kepley. Danny Kepley spent a lot of years chasing quarterbacks around the CFL, players like J.C. Watts. And a couple of weeks ago, he received the highest honor that can be bestowed on any player. He was inducted into the Canadian Football Hall of Fame in Hamilton. It was clearly an emotional time for Dan.
The luckiest man on the face of the earth.
There were some proud moments for Dan that week, along with his son as well. His bust unveiled at the Canadian Football Hall of Fame, surrounded by other Hall of Famers, showing off his ring. Dan was joined by some former teammates, also many Hall of Famers themselves. And the next day in Hamilton, he was welcomed by the fans at Iberwin Stadium, which spent so much time booing Dan Kepley as a player, showing their appreciation for what a great player he is. We are extremely proud and happy to have as a member of our ESPN2 team on the CFL, Dan Kepley.
Thank you very much. That's a little overwhelming there, Jeff. You guys surprised me with this.
Well, that's good. Dan, it was a great moment to be inducted into the Hall of Fame, and it is, in fact, the highest honor you can get.
Well, it certainly is. It's a great thing to be accepted and be into that kind of company with those kind of peers and that kind of people. It's an amazing feeling.
5 Grey Cups, Hall of Fame. What more could you ask for in the Canadian Football League?
As they say, it don't get no better than this, baby.
Except we got a great-looking matchup here today. The Toronto Argonauts and the Edmonton Eskimos, the best offense in the league against the stingiest defense.
Arguably, this could be a preview to the Grey Cup. They are talking that Edmonton could be strong enough to come out of the Western Conference and meet Toronto and Doug Glutie in Hamilton for that Grey Cup. We'll see how it tests out today.
Kev, for the Eskimos to be successful today, they've got to get a few basic things done.
The keys I picked today for Edmonton, the first thing, keep possession of the ball. Don't cough up the rock. Secondly, they have to convert their second downs. Thirdly, their defense, face plant Doug Glutie. I mean, you've got to get him on the ground somehow. For the Toronto Argonauts today, their key, big thing first, use Drummond, use Clemens, rush the ball inside. Secondly, win special teams, good field position, and Doug Glutie has to throw the ball vertically down the football field.
Toronto Argonaut head coach Don Matthews, who spent so many years here as a defensive coordinator with the Edmonton Eskimos. Ron Lancaster, one victory away from becoming the Edmonton Eskimos' all-time winningest head coach. Back to receive for the Toronto Argonauts, number 31, Mike Pinball Clemens, and 86, Jimmy the Jet Cunningham. It is freezing here. Winds out of the northeast at 10 miles per hour, but all things considered, we're in pretty good shape. It's the Pinball at his 20. He wants to cut it up and does. He's got some room. He's across the 30, hits the 40, and is down at the 44-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts. Fleming, the kicker, downfield to make the tackle. On offense, Pinball Clemens, the only running back ever to go over 1,000 yards in receiving. A couple of good Canadian receivers, Paul Masadi and Tyrone Williams.
Ty Williams with a lot of experience, couple of years with the Dallas Cowboys, has come on strong. Good, solid possession receiver inside.
Doug Glutie makes it all go. 12 years out of Boston College. 4,810 passing yards coming in. First down at the 45. Robert Drummond, the big load, is taken down, but not after a struggle by Benny Goods, the all-Canadian defensive end. Defensively, the Edmonton Eskimos, Larry Ruck, the Canadian in the middle, Kavis Reed on the corner, Melvin Hunter up front, McCready, Goods, and Blue. That's a tough front four.
Melvin Hunter, 13 sacks so far this season. Puts a lot of pressure on the outside, and it will really test him today. He's going to have to get upfield and contain Doug Glutie with Leroy Blue's help on the other side.
Drummond with 707 rushing yards coming in, picks up about 3. Second down and 3 at the 52. Drummond again, ball is loose. The Eskimos have got it. It's coming back. It's Glenn Rogers Jr. who is tackled by Doug Glutie. And right away, we've got the first turnover of the game. And Kep, one of the things you said the Eskimos could not do is turn it over. You didn't mention the Argos.
That's exactly right. They had not turned the ball over that many times this year. They don't cough it up very often. But that big, tough Edmonton defense caused a fumble rushing inside to a very sure-handed Robert Drummond. Take a look at this. Good exchange. Ball hits him up in the chest, just does not wrap his hands around it. And Glenn Rogers Jr. is all over that football. Big turnover, and this is the key. You get that momentum swing very early in the game.
Danny McManus, the Eskimo quarterback, has played much better over the second half of the season. First down and 10 at the Toronto 37. He wants to throw on first. Delivers incomplete, and Mark Tobert is drilled by Don Smith, the veteran cornerback. Let's take a look at that Eskimo offense. Flutie and Brown, the two big receivers. Tobert, who just got nailed, and Shalon Baker, the rookie of the year last year. Burson Blunt, a couple of horses in the backfield. Rod Cunnup, playing his 255th game, anchors that offensive line.
It's amazing. I mean, that Rod Cunnup came in and he played in 1992, but take a look at the shot that Donald Smith lays on Mark Tobert. Danny McManus led him out there and just hung him out to dry. And Donald Smith got the laundry and brought it home.
Second and 10, it's Blunt with a bit of a hole. He'll pick up about 6. And that'll put the Eskimos in shape for a field goal attempt.
Eric Blunt, one of the workhorses for the Edmonton Eskimos, 225 carries, 963 yards coming into this game out of the University of North Carolina, born in Ayden, North Carolina, back in my hometown around that area.
Sean Fleming will come on to attempt the field goal. He's 27 out of 31 since his return to the Edmonton Eskimos. He's missed 2 inside the 40 this year. This will be a 37-yard attempt. The punter, Glenn Harper, will hold it for him.
Good solid kicker who had a pretty good shot at making the NFL with the Washington Redskins.
Flags, whistles, hold everything.
Edmonton goes with a shift. Let's see if they get called for procedure, or it could be an offside. Procedure it's going to be, Jeff.
Procedure it is, so they'll back it up 5 and try that one again.
Okay, Harry.
We talk about footing for a lot of the players, Kep. It's important for these kickers to be able to plan as well.
Edmonton, number 67, still third down.
Rod Cunnup in 67, the center, just must have made a little movement with that ball quickly.
Third and 8 for the Eskimos.
Ron Lancaster's asking about it, but this guy right here, I remember that young kid when he came in 1982. Had an opportunity to play a few years with him, and he's still doing it today just as good as he did back then.
Bad snap, but they get it down, and Fleming is wide. It's going to go through for a single point. So the Argonauts dodge a bullet. They give up just the single as a result of that first turnover.
The definition of radical: to depart from the norm, to stand up for what's important with courage and passion. The definition of Canadian, not American. It's time to stand up and get passionate about your country, its traditions, its future. One of these great traditions is football played the way it was meant to be, radically Canadian. The Canadian Football League. It's hard-hitting, it's longer, wider, faster football. Every game is an event, a party. More importantly, it's our game and we won't change it for anyone. The CFL, radically Canadian and proud of it. Now you too can be a radical Canadian by wearing radical hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and golf shirts, all from Starter Canada. Get radical from only $19.99. Call 1-800-8174-CFL. These items aren't available in any store. The only way you can get radical is to call now. Dare to be different. Get radical. Be Canadian. The Canadian Football League is radically Canadian. Call 1-800-8174-CFL now.
Today, modern man is safe, insulated from the elements. We have climate control, home shopping, 500 channels. We can surf the net. We even have cars that are so smooth and quiet, you don't even know you're driving.
Are you free? Are you really free? Are you really, really free? Is it you? Is it me? Or is it simply history? Are you free? Are you really free? Are you really, really free? Is it you? Is it me? Or is it simply jealousy?
of life, there are passengers and there are drivers.
The Canadian Football League on ESPN2 is brought to you by Corel Corporation, radically Canadian partners with the CFL, and by Volkswagen. On the road of life, there are passengers and there are drivers. The Toronto Argonauts coughed the football up in their first possession. They're going to get another crack at it. They escaped with just 1 point.
Well, it's been a stingy defense that Toronto has, and sometimes even a guy like Doug Glutie has had some off days through the course of the 96 season. This defense has come up big, turned the ball back over, put it into his hands, and made some things happen. Doug Glutie's got a chance now to see what he can do.
Split backs, 2 receivers to each side. Comes right back to Robert Drummond, who picks up 5 on the play, straight ahead to the 40.
Jeff, this is what I like about Doug Glutie. Same thing. He knew that Robert Drummond fumbled the ball the last time. He comes back the next play, runs almost exactly the same play, gives it to him again, say, listen, I got confidence in you. Now you get your confidence back, and let's make something happen this afternoon.
4,810 passing yards coming in. And he's got lots more to go. 2nd and 5 at the 40. Again, split backs. Glutie to throw. Over the middle, it's batted down by Derek McCready, the nose tackle.
Derek McCready stands 6'5". Now this is the advantage when Doug Glutie, who tips it out about 5'10", 5'11", takes that 3-step drop. He comes back, he sets up. It allows those defensive linemen to get their hands up. It's tough for him to thread it through the hands and the arms out there. Take a look. Quick step, fakes the inside. Now McCready gets up high. Once he realizes he's not going to get any further penetration, gets the hands up, knocks it down.
Mike Vanderjack on to punt, 43.4-yard average. Don Blair and Gizmo Williams. It is a fake, and the Argos are going to get a huge play out of this to the Eskimo 25-20. Huge play. And slipping in the snow is Twain Dimitrition.
Don Matthews comes in with gimmick plays, at least 3 or 4 in every phase of the special teams. Whether it's a fake punt, fake field goal, the blocks that he sets up. He knew right now he needed something to set it up. Watch the direct snap. Nobody's paying any attention to the up backs Drummond. Everybody's got their eyes back in the field watching the kicker Vanderjack. The only guy to come up and try to make the tackle is Henry Gizmo Williams. Finally pushes it out. Big play, keeps the momentum for Toronto.
Glutie in the shotgun. It'll be everybody out on 1st down. With time, into the end zone. Touchdown! Tyrone Williams. Tyrone Williams with his 8th touchdown of the season. And Doug Glutie has touchdown pass number 26. Here it is.
Doug Glutie has plenty of time. It's the post corner route, and Doug just hangs it up in the air, and Ty Williams runs underneath it. Not a defender close to him. Perfect timing, easy pitch and catch for the Major.
All set up by the 45-yard fake punt to Robert Drummond. Vanderjack with the point after. It's good. And the Argos have now jumped up to a 7-1 lead. 10:47 to go in the opening quarter. That was fast.
That's fast. That's the way these guys work. The last time Doug Glutie and the Edmonton Eskimos met, he carried the ball. He set it out there. His first drive was 8 minutes and 25 seconds, 14 plays, and he puts it in for the score. This time, on his second possession, he goes hard, he goes deep to the corner, and he goes to Tyrone Williams, the sure-handed receiver out of Western Ontario.
Vanderjack will handle the kickoff. And for the Edmonton Eskimos, who did such a good job defensively in the first couple of series, they all of a sudden find themselves down by 6. My son Jarrell.
You never, ever, at any time, get a play that you can take off when you're against the guy like Doug Glutie. Defensively, you have to grind it out every play, set it up, and play it just like it's the last play of the game or the first play of the game.
Gizmo Williams and Eric Blunt are back to receive for the Eskimos. With a breeze at his back, Vanderjack gets his leg into it. It's the Gizmo at his 10. To to the 20. He hits the 30 and hits the deck at the 32. Danny McManus and the Edmonton Eskimos now are ready to come out again. McManus with a lot of interception troubles early in the season, but he settled down over the second half.
One of the very few quarterbacks in the league. He has thrown 23 interceptions this year to only 15 touchdown passes. He had a tough time. He has not been getting the kind of time that he wants. He's also been making some very poor reads, but in the past few games, he has come and really sharpened some of those skills and made some things happen.
He's got some weapons on that offense. Here's one of them, Eric Blunt. Cuts it inside. He'll pick up about 3 on the play. Here's that scoring drive, Kev.
Check it out. 4 plays, 70 yards. The time it is, 234. The 16-yard catch by Ty Williams. All set up by the fake punt that went to Robert Drummond.
Second down. Eddie Brown wide side to the left. Mark Tobert in a slot to the left. Darren Flutie also out to the left. In the shotgun, McManus. Into the far flat. He completes it, but short of the first down. Adrian Smith comes over to make the stop on Blunt, and the Eskimos will be forced to punt.
Exactly the situation that Toronto wants to try to keep Danny McManus and his offense in all day long. Second and long situation. They mix it up. They like to play a lot of man, but they'll come up and show man and then fall back and play into a zone and then react up and stop him short on Eric Blunt as they just did before the first down.
Glenn Harper, 42.1 yard average coming into this one. And the Jet is back. It's a shanker. It's going to bounce a couple of times to Cunningham at his 38, and he just steps out of bounds. Go. So the Toronto Argonauts come back out with 9:20 to go in the opening quarter. They've got a 7-1 lead. Field's in better shape than we thought it would be.
You love Jock Jams Volume 1. Now, ESPN and Tommy Boy Music give you Jock Jams Volume 2. Jock Jams Volume 2. More of the hottest crowd-pumping jams of all time. Jock Jams Volume 2. Available in record stores everywhere.
This is how we do it.
Don't miss a minute of your favorite sports action. With ESPN Net to Go, Motorola's new sports receiver. Score updates every 5 minutes, plus ESPN's breaking news and info. Carry NFL, NBA, NHL, baseball, and college action wherever you go. Be in the know when you're on the go.
Doug Glutie and the Argonauts, first down and 10 at their own 39-yard line. 5 receivers wide side left. Flutie in the shotgun, wants to run the draw. The Eskimos don't want to let him, but he's going to get it done anyway, all by himself. The Eskimos had it sniffed out. That didn't stop Flutie.
This is a play that he has patented. He spreads out, gets that empty backfield set, puts everybody out, spreads the defense across the width of the field, and then he's just like a water bug. He's going to take it on that quarterback draw, try to fall in the open area. The field turf, with all that snow, it's been spread off, and they cleared it off very good. It should be fairly firm underneath there, and Doug Glutie did not look like he had any problem making his cuts.
They only need 3 now for the first down at the 46. Drummond gets the call. Fighting forward, Leroy Blue will take him down close to the first down. Leroy Blue, the 8-year veteran out of Bishop's University, a former first-round draft pick of the Eskimos.
That guy right there, Robert Drummond, in his 3rd year out of Syracuse, has been a mainstay. A couple of years he played in the same backfield in Baltimore with a guy by the name of Mike Pringle, who gets the job done pretty good. Don Matthews said that guy is probably the best kept secret all in the CFL until this year when he started to highlight him, and when he got a chance to show, man, did that light go on very brightly.
Sure did. Spent a couple of years in the National Football League and then drifted north, and as you said, used primarily as a blocking back. It is a first down. Just shy of the Toronto 50-yard line. Dwayne Dimitrition wide side to the left. Pinball Clemens and Drummond and Williams also out to the left. Flutie swings it out of the backfield to Jimmy the Jet Cunningham, who slips shy of midfield. He's down by Willie Pless at the 53.
The philosophy to what Doug Glutie wants to do there is great. He wants to swing it out, get it to him early. Now see if he can work one-on-one against could be and arguably the best middle linebacker in the CFL, Willie Pless, and Willie's having nothing to do with it. He puts the Jet off the runway.
Willie Pless leading his team in tackles, which he perennially does. CFL's all-time leader. Second down. And a long 6. Flutie in the gun with time over the middle, complete for the first down and drop. Oh, Ty Williams had it and couldn't hang on.
Had it right in his hands. Doug Glutie couldn't have thrown that ball any better. In the midst of a crowd, Ty Williams just did not look it in very well. Glenn Rogers Jr., one of the defenders in the area.
Rogers with 7 interceptions this year around the football. He's around this one. Catchable ball.
Very catchable. Allowed Williams to be able to work behind the linebacker Dixon. Doug Glutie again, he'll come back and you'll see him very soon in the next series of plays. Throw Williams a pass and make sure his confidence stays in this ball game.
Here's Mike Vanderjack. This is not anything of beauty. He squibs it towards the far sidelines, gets a pretty good bounce out of bounds inside the Eskimo 20 to the 18-yard line. Don Blair, who last year won the Heck Crichton Trophy as the outstanding collegiate player in Canada, back there to receive it, couldn't get a handle on it. Danny McManus comes out, working with a long field, down 7-1, 7 minutes to go in the opening quarter.
Danny McManus has had his trouble through the course of this season of establishing his offense, maintaining possession drives, moving the chains, getting first downs. You can see his numbers through the course of the season. 2 years ago, a member of the BC Lions and the Grey Cup champions.
Came off the bench to help win that game. From the shotgun on first down, McManus has a lot of time. He's going deep for Flutie. It's almost intercepted. Great coverage up the near sidelines by the veteran Ed Berry.
Ed Berry, in his 9th year out of Utah State, seen a lot of plays from the Edmonton Eskimos, had an opportunity, came through Edmonton last year for a while, able to sign back with Toronto this year. He knows the personnel on this receiving core that Danny McManus needs to use today.
Second down and 10. Eskimos. Ball is at their own 19. Again, McManus in the gun. Here come the Argos. He delivers over the middle. Has his man short of the first down, but close. Mark Tobert makes the catch and hangs on after taking a pretty good hit.
Johnny Harris comes up, number 7, makes that stick and drives him back. It'll depend on the spot. It does look to be about a yard, yard and a half short. Ron Lancaster wastes no time deep in his own end. Says, kick this ball away.
Tobert, a third-year Canadian out of the University of Alberta, at home playing in the cold. And it's chilly here today.
And the only scary part about it, Jeff, it's going to get colder. The hawk will be flying over Edmonton real soon, and there will be a lot of people bundled up a lot more than they are today.
Jimmy Cunningham already with 2 punt return touchdowns this season. Will get a chance to handle this. A great punt. Cunningham all the way back to his 35. To the 40. Look out. 50. Midfield. He's into Eskimo territory to the 44. Great burst of speed by Jimmy the Jet Cunningham, and the Argos will have great field position with 5:36 to go in the opening quarter. Pinball Clemens, his partner back there on the kickoff returns. Pinball was at one time the premier returner for these Toronto Argonauts, but the Jet has taken over, and you can see why.
Jeff, at one time, Pinball Clemens, he was the premier player on the Toronto Argonauts, and what has happened this year is that he's been surrounded by so many other weapons, he gets the highlights. Not any defense can just key on Mike Pinball Clemens anymore. Doug Glutie has too many.
Everybody out, halfback blitz, flags are down. Here's the pinball. He gets the ball and is shoved out of bounds by Larry Ruck. Not only is Jimmy Cunningham number 1 in all-purpose yards in the league, but the pinball is number 2 this year. We do have a penalty. Jake Ireland will give us the signal.
Let's go holding against Toronto. Bring
holding.
It back.
Toronto number 64. Repeat first down.
Chuck Bradley, the 4-year veteran out of Kentucky. when you're 6'6" and 320 pounds, if you do something wrong, you can't hide. 98 catches for Pinball Clemens this year. How about that? And as we said, the first running back to go over 1,000 yards. Bit of a misnomer, kept, because he doesn't line up in the backfield that often.
No, he doesn't. They like to use him. They want to put him out and put him in the slot, see if they can get a mismatch on a linebacker, or they make a defense use an extra DB.
Glutie delivers incomplete. Ball is trapped back around the original line of scrimmage by Cunningham.
Cunningham has just made such a great impression, not necessarily at his wide-out position, but he has such great speed that you really have to respect him as a defense. And if they don't respect him, Doug Glutie will certainly take it to the house with that kid. But what he has done, he is instant field position on the special teams. Once his hands touch the ball out of Howard University, this guy can be just electrifying.
The jet and the pinball. In slots to the left, Glutie in the shotgun. On 2nd and 20. Now he's scrambling. Throws on the run, incomplete. Glutie got himself out of trouble, but it's still going to be 3rd and 20.
Doug may want to take that back. He and Mike talking to one another. You can see Mike with a little smile on his face as Doug comes outside. He thinks, I'm going to settle down in there. Maybe Doug had a lot of turf in front of him. He felt that Doug was going to run it for the first down. Had plenty of ground in front of him to do that.
The Eskimo bench, there's Tom Higgins on the left. Ron Lancaster. We're going to try to slow him down a little bit. We know we can't stop him. Don Blair at his 8. Looking for some room. Gets one block from the Gizmo and is corralled. Good downfield coverage by the Toronto Argonauts back around the 7-yard line. Mike Morreale downfield to make the stop for the Argonauts. And once again, the Eskimos working with a long field.
A race can end in many ways. Too often, so can a career. That's why when Ernie Irvan returned to racing for Texaco Haviland, people sat up and took notice. It's no surprise to us to see him, though. We've always known. For Ernie, the race isn't over until he says it's over. Welcome back to racing, Ernie. It's good to have you back on track.
Good. Wise.
Eric Blunt and the Edmonton Eskimos down deep in their own end. Danny McManus dumps it over the middle to Blunt, and he'll get up to about the 15-yard line. Michael O'Shea, the middle linebacker.
Mike O'Shea had a great tryout camp with the Detroit Lions. He's able to come back to Toronto, played for a couple of years in Hamilton. Hamilton thought he was going to be able to sign him back again this year. 6'3", about 245, able to move very well from sideline to sideline, covers that quick hot route.
2nd and about 4 for the Eskimos. McManus with his backs in the eyes. Second man through is Blunt, and he doesn't even see the line of scrimmage.
All he sees is white jerseys and penetration there. That offensive line up front had no surge whatsoever for the Edmonton Eskimos in a 2nd and short crucial situation. Toronto Argonauts wanted it a little bit more. That's why he got stuffed. Take a look. As soon as he gets his hands on the ball, boom, nothing but white jerseys around him. Everybody just meet at Eric Blunt.
Don Wilson, 13 years out of North Carolina State, the first man there, but he had lots of help. And Harper stands 2 yards deep in his end zone.
Wait till you see the field position the Jet will give him now.
This one hangs high. It's the Jet at the 48. Little step back, now a step forward. Down to the 25-yard line, Jimmy the Jet Cunningham. And you were right, Kep, that is instant field position.
The great thing about this kid is that he plays with a lot of heart. He's not that big. He's 5'6", about 160 pounds. He's out of Houston, Texas. But his team, the the return guys know, the other 11 guys out there on that field, all I have to do is get a piece of my man. If I just get a small block, this guy has a chance to break it every time he touches the ball.
The Argos working with a short field at the Eskimo 25-yard line. Drummond and the pinball are in the backfield. Flutie on the keeper. Larry Ruck will wrap him up. That was an odd-looking play.
Well, Doug saw that. He made a little gesture to the back like he wanted to move Robert Drummond around, like he may have thought about giving the ball to him. And then it was just a straight quarterback dive. He was going to take it, try to find a little seam, a little gap, and hopefully surprise the Edmonton Eskimos. But as you said, Larry Ruck wasn't having anything to do with it.
Does he do that on his own at the line of scrimmage?
I think he does. I think he has the ability, and I think also he has the green light. Anytime he sees something out there, Doug Glutie calls the play that he wants to run.
2nd and 7. Lots of time. He wants it all. It is broken up in the end zone. Ty Williams never saw the truck that hit him. Trent Brown, the safety, laid the lumber on Ty Williams.
Maybe we've seen a couple of shots today. Ty Williams took a shot there by Trent Brown. The shot earlier that Donald Smith hit Mark Tolbert just bent them both over. Watch the safety. Now he's going to be right in the middle of your screen. Trent Brown in the back. Doug Glutie doesn't see him. Trent takes the shot. Maybe if he'd have played the ball, that could have been a pick going the other way. But as a defensive player, it doesn't feel nearly as good catching the ball as it does hitting the guy right in the chops.
Tyrone's slow to get up. The training staff's out there having a word with him to make sure he's all right. But Trent Brown has earned a reputation as one of the big hitters in this league this year.
He has. Look at the heat. Doug Glutie throwing under pressure. Now, this has been a patented kind of move that Doug does. He throws the ball, releases it, and he spins out of there all at the same time. It's very hard for a defensive player to get a good, clean shot on number 2.
Mike Vanderjack looking to put his team up 10-1. We're down into the last couple of minutes of the opening quarter. It'll be a 30-yard attempt. Flutie will spot it for him. He missed. A single point. That's a disappointment after the kind of field position the Argos had to come away with just one.
Tremendous surge up front. Benny Goods, McCready, Mike Sellers, Melvin Hunter, those guys were in there and just drove a couple of those offensive linemen of Toronto right back in the face of Mike Vanderjack. Got the kick away and he just pulled it left.
Don Matthews isn't happy about that, of course. He spends a lot of time making sure his guys work the ball into field position. The kickers better get their job done.
Well, more importantly, Don Matthews is one of those head coaches that's involved in the coaching per se. He works with the defense. He works definitely with the special teams.
This is going to be a first down for the Eskimos. Turning around the far end is Tony Burst, the fullback. This guy is a load, Kep.
6'1", about 220, out of Lafayette, Georgia. Played at Middle Tennessee State. Had an opportunity last year. He was with the backfield at the San Antonio Texans. You give him the ball, he makes one guy miss you, and then, buddy, you better buckle your chin strap. If you're going to go low, you better hit him at the ankles, because if not, he's going to run over you.
McManus from the shotgun at his own 52. He's got Shalon Baker at the 33-yard line of the Toronto Argonauts. The Rookie of the Year last year in the Canadian Football League out of Montana has seen his productivity drop off this year, but he can still make big plays.
He really has. Now look how Danny McManus reads the defense, hits the seam route right before the safety Namako can get over there, lays that ball in, and Shalon Baker knew he was going to take a shot, but concentrated, made that reception.
First down at the Toronto 33. Blunt was supposed to go inside. There was nothing there. Trying to take it outside, but Don Wilson comes over to make the stop. There is a flag.
Donnie Wilson is one of those players. This is in his 10th season. He's calling holding against the Edmonton Eskimos. Played with Toronto early in the season. Has come and played a few years with the Edmonton Eskimos. Let's listen to the call.
Holding, Edmonton number 34. Repeat first down.
And he's one of those tweeners, Jeff. You know, he played halfback most of his career, and now with the throwing game really taking a lot of the percentage plays of offense, he stepped up. He's about 200 pounds. He plays that outside linebacker. He can run with man-to-man coverage, and he's got the strength to be able to play the rush.
First down and 20 at the 42-yard line. This will be the last play of the quarter. McManus wants the screen. He's got Burst. Burst doesn't get a lot of help, and he has to fight his way forward to about the 36-yard line just to get a few of those yards back. Michael O'Shea over to make the hit. 15 minutes in the books. The Toronto Argonauts lead the Edmonton Eskimos 8-1. Don Matthews in control.
Introducing McDonald's Deluxe Sandwiches. They're new, they're big, with fresh toppings and a bakery soft roll. The average adult has over 8,000 taste buds. Get ready to use them all. It's McDonald's with a grown-up taste.
I love my country.
I'm from Chicago, Illinois.
St. Paul, Minnesota.
Best city in the world. I like the Midwestern attitude. I love Hawaii.
From Idaho. Moscow, Idaho.
Sausalito.
By far the most beautiful place.
California.
The mountains, the beach. I love football.
I love basketball.
Hockey.
I love to swim.
I like to surf.
Seventh inning stretch.
Buffalo, New York. United States of America.
United States of America.
USA.
Okay, Berman, tell us what your nicknames are going to be this Sunday. We want to win that ESPN name game sweepstakes.
Ben Winter Coates.
Eric's sleeping with the enemy.
Winter, watch NFL Primetime Sunday night, November 3rd. Write down a Berman nickname you hear and call the number shown. You could win a trip for two to the 1997 Super Bowl. Watch NFL Primetime and your nickname could be prize winner. Visa, the official card of the NFL, presents ESPN's name game sweepstakes.
We can't hear you.
We got a good one going at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton today. The Edmonton Eskimos and the Toronto Argonauts. I'm Jeff Currier with Dan Kepley. Glad to have you with us today on The Deuce. The Eskimos trailing this one 8-1. First play of the second quarter. They are second down and 14 at the Toronto 36. Danny McManus will set up in the gun.
Here comes a halfback blitz.
Incomplete. He threw the out, and Tolbert took it inside, and that'll bring about a third down.
Danny Mac thought he had the pattern that he wanted in a halfback blitz. You know, you've got man coverage in the back end. Was able to have plenty of time to throw the ball. Tolbert, when he hooked that ball up, he hooked, slid to the inside. Danny thought exactly as you said, Jeff. Thought he was going to slide to the outside.
Kev, Danny Mac hasn't been able to get Eddie Brown or Darren Flutie involved in the offense yet.
Well, these are guys that it's hard to get everybody involved in it. You know what I mean? They got one football out there. Eddie Brown is a guy you need to go to early. He needs to get into the football game. He needs to feel like he's part of it, and he needs to establish himself as a threat.
Sean Fleming with a 43-yard attempt. It's wide, and it's coming out. And slipping and falling at the two. The ball is loose. And the Eskimos do have it. First and goal, Eskimos.
Opportunity right there. I think that Jimmy the Jet Cunningham made a very fatal decision that was wrong to bring that ball out. The coverage team of the Eskimos were all over it. Take a look at this. The ball's only about 5 yards deep in the end zone. There's Rod Knopp, the first guy down. Cunningham, when he hit the turf, the ball came loose, and the Edmonton Eskimos recovered. Ryham, the big offensive left tackle, Thomas, out of Alabama in his 7th year in the pro football.
Second fumble of the day for the Argos, but this one sets the Eskimos up first down and goal at the 2-yard line. Rod Knopp, the all-time leader in games played as an Eskimo, over the ball. McManus in under. Willie Pless, the linebacker, scores the touchdown. His 4th rushing touchdown of the season.
Now, it starts to get pretty scary in this league when you take an athlete like that, and this is a compliment to that man right there, Willie Pless. In his 11th year out of Kansas University, this guy has done it all. 3 times MVP defensive player in this league. He rushes the ball for, as you said, his 4th rushing touchdown. He has caught touchdown passes coming out of the backfield. He has more touchdowns this year than some of the running backs in this league. Most of them, I should say.
That's number 4. And that means that we've got a tie football game. Toronto 8, Edmonton 8. A couple of big plays in the first quarter. A 45-yard fake punt run by the Toronto Argonauts to Robert Drummond, set up a Doug Glutie to Tyrone Williams touchdown toss. And here Willie Pless takes it in from 2 yards out. We're all tied up.
It's time. Time to feel young. Time to really get in shape. To build muscle. To get stronger and more flexible. It's time to lose fat permanently. To look better, feel better, and have more energy. It's time to turn back the clock by weightlifting with SoloFlex. Now's the perfect time to call SoloFlex for your free brochure and video.
Now, the most difficult shots in golf are easy to make. With the Alien Ultimate Wedge, you'll be out in one swing, guaranteed.
I don't care how high a handicapper you are or how little you play. You'll get out of the sand on your very first swing or your money back.
Over 60% of all shots are taken within a short distance of the pin. The Alien Ultimate Wedge's triple radius design gets you out of the sand, out of the deep rough, even off hard pan. You don't need a new swing, a new stance, or a sports psychologist. All you need to get on the green is the Alien Ultimate Wedge. Call now for your free video and brochure and find out how you can get this revolutionary club in your bag.
If you live for golf and want to save strokes, pick up the phone right now and order your Alien Wedge. I guarantee you, you'll be glad you did.
The Alien Ultimate Wedge.
There's a long one.
One swing, and you're out of there.
Right on it. All right.
Guaranteed.
Welcome back to Commonwealth Stadium. Due to time constraints, we now move ahead in our coverage of today's game.
Chris Perez, the injured left tackle of the Toronto Argonauts, goes off, and as you said earlier, Jeff, that's Dan Payne that'll come on. And speaking of pain, you can see Chris Perez grimacing in it on the sideline.
Dan Payne is going to be hard to miss out there. He admits to being somewhere in the neighborhood of 300. He's about a midnight snack away from 350.
Hey, and you know him pretty well. You do the radio broadcast over there for the Saskatchewan Roughriders, so you've seen a lot of this guy back in his days when he was there, huh?
That's right. And Dan, in fact, was, when he was a little lighter than that, was an Olympic wrestler. In fact, he was 8th in the heavyweight wrestling division in Seoul, Korea, the Olympics there.
That's a big man. That's just a huge man. You look at the shoulders and the arms on that big guy.
It's bad when you get a shoe shine. You got to take the guy's word for it.
I tell you what, you tell him that up close and personal. See what it's like. I like doing it from long distance.
Well, this is a showdown of the most productive offense in the league and the stingiest defense in the league.
What a matchup. These are like two world-class fighters just going toe-to-toe at it.
First down, Argos. Glutie with the play action over the middle. Complete. First down and lots more. Tyrone Williams.
Ty Williams is having his fill out there of Glenn Rogers Jr. He's just using him as well as he wants to. Take a look. Doug Glutie, that quick set, 3-step drop, and that good sharp release. Ty Williams is able to get to the inside of Glenn Rogers. Doug Glutie hits him in stride, and he just keeps running and picks up big yardage.
First down, Toronto at the 21. Split backs, balance set. Glutie with the play action again, throws into the far flat for the pinball. It's incomplete, and we're going to have a late hit charged against the Edmonton Eskimos. Benny Goods.
That's it. Number 40 is going to get in there. Benny just took a shot at Doug Glutie. He must have saw that Keys when I talked about face planting him in the turf. But you got to do it in between the whistles.
Roughing the passer. Edmonton number 40. First down.
All-star the last couple of years, Benny Goods. 7 years out of Alcorn State. Spent his whole career here with the Eskimos.
Quick play action pass. He wants to get it to Mike Clemens quickly. Benny knows he's got to let up. Doug Glutie goes down hard. There he is in his 7th year out of Alcorn State.
Ron's saying, don't do that. Don't do it anymore.
But he's, and it's hard. You don't want to tell any defensive player or offensive player, slow down. Don't do it. Don't be aggressive. Be aggressive, but be smart and be disciplined with your aggression.
First down at the Eskimo 10. Drummond and Clemens are split behind Flutie. Pinball gets the call and is down inside the 5. Trent Brown, the safety, came over to save the touchdown.
I don't care whether it's a wet field, a snowy field, an ice field. It doesn't make any difference. Michael Clemens has some of the quickest feet that I have ever seen for a running back, for a receiver, for a football player. This guy takes the ball, and he is in total body movement, stops and plants in midair almost, makes people miss him.
Second down at the 3. Flutie shovels it to the pinball, who fumbles the ball, and who's got it? The Argos get it back.
Argos came back. Number 45, Maurice Miller, had a real good shot to recover that ball. Option play, quick pitch to Clements. Looks like it was behind him. I mean, Drummond's, I should say. Here it is. Maurice Miller shows himself. The ball hits Clements up in the face. Then it comes back. Drummond is the guy that comes up with the ball. Maurice Miller is the guy that has a chance for the recovery. Ball slides right through his hands.
Unless it's a fake, Don Matthews is selected to go for the field goal.
And don't be surprised, Matthews is full of tricks.
They got first place locked up in the East. They can do pretty much whatever they like. What they've done here is taken the sure 3. 10:44 to go in the half, and the Argonauts go out front 11-8. When you've got first place sewn up, though, I mean, you're playing with house money. You can do what you like.
Well, I think you are, but I think also if you're looking down the road a little bit, Jeff, and it may be, as we said, if this is a matchup when it could possibly be a matchup, if Edmonton wins out of the West and Toronto wins out of the East, that these guys may meet each other, you want to establish yourself. You want to establish your dominance, and you want to establish whether you can rush the ball against the people, throw the ball, your defense can whip up on people, get it done, because if you have a chance to meet later down the road, you want somebody to have in their back of their mind, this team really kicked our tail the last time we played.
Don Matthews, you see him taking a hands-on approach with the special teams. He devotes a lot of his time to special teams and invariably will come up with something you're not ready for.
You know, I had the pleasure, and I say back in 1977, when Don Matthews came to the CFL as a defensive coordinator, he was a defensive coordinator here with the Edmonton Eskimos. I had the chance to play with him for 6 years, and it was just a great experience. One of the most innovative minds in football that I have ever been around in my life.
Blunt and Williams back to receive the kick. Gizmo calls for it. 25. He's got some people out front of him, and he's got some room. Staggering and stumbling into Argo territory to the 50-yard line. Well, the returners are putting on a show for us here today.
Henry Gizmo Williams is just an unbelievable athlete. He has more punt returns and kickoff returns for touchdowns called back than anybody else has ever even scored. Powerful, about 185, 190 pounds, and he is put together, babe.
You see the great balance he shows. First down, Eskimos, Argo 50. McManus wants to throw, does get rid of it into the far flat. It's Flutie. He escapes one and is nudged out of bounds by Donald Smith.
There it is, brother against brother on each side of the field. Darren Flutie, in his own right, has established himself as a premier receiver in this league. Does a great job getting away from the jam of Ed Berry. Danny McManus, that strong arm of his, gets it to the flat, and then it still shows you the determination of Darren Flutie to pick up some additional yards.
73rd catch of the year, first down at the Argo 38. Danny Mack into the far flat. He's got Shalon Baker, and he'll have about 7 or 8. Again, Smith taking him out of bounds. The Eskimos starting to get into a bit of a rhythm offensively right now.
And this is where they get scary. When they have some success, they have the time to execute, and they get the plays off, they can be very, very deadly.
Second and a couple at the 30. First man through. I don't know if he's going to get it. Tony Burse is stiffened. Bob Waldrop, one-time Outland Trophy winner from Arizona, was on the spot, and they're going to have to bring in the chains and have a look at this one.
Don Matthews has had nothing but high praise for that man in the middle. 6'1", about 275 in his second year out of Arizona. And as you said, being an Outland Trophy winner in the United States, that says a lot. It doesn't come very easy to get that kind of award.
This Toronto Argonaut team is not particularly solid against the run. It's not a big priority. They do, in fact, have enough for the first down. Don Matthews likes lighter defensive players, mobile guys who can cover a lot of ground.
He does, and they play a lot of gap cancellation. He doesn't stand those guys in there and take on those 300-pounders nose to nose. He gets them in the gaps, and he has very active linebackers.
First down at the 28-yard line. McManus tries to dump it off and does. Flags are down. Blunt with lots of room gets a block and a first down to the 5-yard line.
This is coming back. It's all for naught. Big holding call in the middle of a pile in Edmonton.
Holding, Edmonton number 56. Repeat first down.
Ed Cusey, the left guard, penalized. Ron Lancaster showing his disgust.
Could have been good.
The Eskimos have hurt themselves with penalties today.
Yeah.
Argos have hurt themselves fumbling the football.
Right in the middle of your screen, here comes O'Shea, the middle linebacker, and he gets around Cusey, and Cusey just takes him down. 2-point takedown, 15-yard penalty.
Something Dan Payne would be proud of.
10-yard penalty, I should say.
First and 20. On the draw, they try to cross up the Argos and do temporarily, but it closes down pretty quickly with O'Shea taking down Blunt.
Blunt gets about 8 yards back, and as you said, they were just trying to catch that Toronto defense, coming and pinning their ears back and getting after him, thinking that McManus is going to pass the ball. Look at the movement inside. Mike O'Shea doing a great job trying to get off the block, slides down the line of scrimmage, makes an excellent tackle.
Second down, 15 to go at the Argo 33. 3 receivers to the left. Now Flutie goes back in motion right. McManus in the gun. Has time, gets rid of it into the far flat, incomplete. Wanted Shalon Baker, and complaining on the play that he was pushed was Ed Berry.
Yeah, there's going to be complaining out there on every play. Somebody thinks they're pushing a little too much contact. Got to take that. This is football. This is contact ball. Danny Mack threw that ball before Baker had even made his break, hoping to be a timing route, threw it behind him.
So the holding call helps stall the drive, and the Eskimos will have to attempt a field goal to tie with 8:02 to go in the half. Sean Fleming will try it from 40 yards. Got lots of distance, and he's got this one. We got a tie ball game. 7:48 to go in the half. Beautiful sunny day at Commonwealth Stadium in Edmonton. Tony Burse in animated conversation with Don Smith. We'll be back.
The NBA is at your fingertips at NBA.com. You have the computer, you've accessed the internet. Now log on to NBA.com for all you want to know about the NBA. 24 hours a day, you can check out game schedules, plus player stats and stories from around the league. That's any team, anytime. And NBA on the Air tells you where to tune in for all the action. NBA.com. Log on and get connected to the NBA.
Have you ever considered a career as a commercial diver? If so, there's no better school to give you the training than Divers Institute of Technology. Whether it's working on offshore oil, underwater construction, raising sunken vessels on a salvage job, or doing hull repair, Divers Institute of Technology has the staff, the equipment, and the location to offer real open water training. Divers Institute of Technology. Call today to start your career as a commercial diver.
Edmonton Eskimos have managed to tie this thing up, and the Toronto Argonauts have got the football. Doug Glutie sends everybody to the right but one. Runs to the left. He wants that corner himself. Throws incomplete. Just threw it away. Great defense by the Eskimos.
This is a great chess game, a great matchup between an offensive team that utilizes finesse and speed and a defensive team that has exactly the same thing, finesse and speed. They can track down the football.
Eskimos moved the ball fairly well, but they hurt themselves with that holding penalty towards the end of the drive. Had the ball for 3 minutes and settled for 3. Second down and 10, Argos at the 35. Flutie in the gun. 3 men out to the right. Wow. Nowhere near the intended receiver, and a flag comes down late.
It's going to be a late call. And hey, Glenn Rogers Jr. and Ty Williams got locked up again. It was a really late call after the ball had passed by everyone, and they may call pass interference on him.
The fans here are going to love this one.
Tell you what, not as much as Doug Glutie's going to love it. Keeps the drive alive. Crucial plays, crucial penalties, keeping the drives alive.
Forward pass interference. Edmonton number 26. First down.
Glenn Rogers Jr., the All-Canadian halfback out of Memphis State, with 7 interceptions this year. To lead his ball club, takes the penalty, and again, the Eskimos hurt themselves.
1995, he was all CFL as a halfback. This guy gets around the football a lot.
Well, we get a little anxious on the line on that one.
Doug sets in that shotgun formation. He just stutters that cadence a little bit, gives you that hut, 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 you know, and people get really anxious as defensive linemen.
Edmonton number 79. Still first down.
He called Derek McCready, but it could have been a whole bunch. It's like offside, a whole bunch of guys.
Hey, take a number and wait in line. You got about 6 or 8 guys. They're like at the butcher shop.
And your reward for being offside is get out. Jed Roberts takes up the nose tackle spot. 1st and 5 now at the 50. First man through, gets the ball and gets the first down. It's a pinball inside the Edmonton Eskimo 50-yard line. Glenn Rogers Jr. makes the stop, but the pinball keeps the legs pumping. Look at that smile.
This guy is something. He is the class act in the CFL. As I said, one of the most well-known. Now, this is 170 pounds that's running this hard. Take a look. Look at the quickness. Just look for a dart for an open space. Just find a little light. Keep those legs working. That big offensive line doing a lot of work up front.
First down at the Eskimo 50. Flutie quads to the right. In the gun. Looks left. Throws. Complete. Short gain to Jet Cunningham. He's having trouble keeping his feet today.
Tell you what, when your feet move as fast as his feet, I think I'd have a little trouble keeping them underneath me also. Out of Howard University, an old defensive back, a teammate of mine back in the days of the Edmonton Eskimos, a guy named Greg Butler. You may remember his name.
Sure do.
He's a coach at Howard University. Buddy Bud, I guess he may have learned a few things from you there on those punt returns.
2nd and 6 at the 46. Flutie again in the shotgun. Little pressure. Just dumps it off. And he's got some room now. It's the Jet. Submarined as he gets inside the 30. Kavis Reed fought off the block and came over to make the stop. Otherwise, the Jet might be running in that snow in the end zone right now.
Well, here's a tough situation. You've got a wide out. Now he's going to come right from the right of your screen, going all the way across the formation. And the guy in the middle, that's Bruce Dixon, that's chasing behind it. That's a middle linebacker chasing a wide receiver. And that's the end result. A lot of yards for the White.
First down and 10 at the 25. Quick hit inside to Drummond. He'll bull his way forward for a few.
Tackle made by Maurice Miller out of Wake Forest. This is his 4th year. Had a couple of years with San Antonio.
He's not the only player in the league out of Wake Forest right now. Of course, Jimmy Kemp, quarterback in Saskatchewan out of Wake Forest, and one of the greatest defensive players ever in this league, James Parker.
James Quick Parker. I had the pleasure of playing with him as being a teammate of mine. He's a great.
2nd down and 7 at the 22. Flags down.
At the top of the screen, I think they got Leroy Blue in the neutral zone. Again, in the Canadian Football League, the defensive line has to line up 1 yard off the line of scrimmage.
Edmonton number 94. Still second down.
Mike Sellers, number 94, in his second year.
So every time you get a penalty, you come off the field. The Eskimos aren't going to have any guys left out there pretty soon.
Well, unfortunately, they'll come up for a while, sit there, think about it, ponder it, and then Lancaster will feel, okay, that's enough punishment. Go back in and get the job done.
2nd and 2, and the pinball trying to get the 2. He won't get it done, though. Derek McCready led the charge along with Blue, and the pinball, I think, is going to be refused.
You've got McCready in the middle. That's 79. You got 43, Jed Roberts. Just stuffed the offensive line of Toronto. Pinball had nowhere to go. Maurice Miller will come right off the corner. Now watch him slide, go right down the line of scrimmage. Now he's going to tackle the football. Watch him try to rip it out. Mike Clements is not going to have anything to do with it. Does a good job of holding on to it.
3rd down, less than a yard. Most teams, you just bring in the heaviest guys you got. Toronto, you never know what they're going to run here.
Watch Doug Glutie keep this ball.
He does keep, and he'll have the 1st down, but not by much.
He jumps behind some pretty big boys. Mike Kislak arguably could be the best center in this league out of Maryland at 295.
Don Matthews sees his team setting up, getting ready for another crack at some points. That's a 3-minute warning.
Military sambo, born in the barren outlands of Russia. Brazilian jiu-jitsu, spawned on the mean streets of Rio. Oleg Taktarov, Russia, sambo grand champion, never defeated by pin or submission. Renzo Gracie, Brazilian jiu-jitsu champion, never defeated by pin or submission. On November 22nd, these 2 warriors will enter the circle of truth. Only one will walk away undefeated. Gracie versus Taktarov. Live in your home on pay-per-view.
This is my idea of a challenge. So when I took the high endurance challenge from Old Spice, that's what I thought I was getting into. What I got was a sure thing. High endurance deodorant. It evaporates less quickly than the leading stick. It also lasts longer and protects better. Old Spice even guarantees it. Or call 1-800-PROVE-IT and they'll buy you a stick of yours. So if you're looking for a real challenge, the sky's the limit. If you're looking for the best deodorant, try High Endurance from Old Spice. Because now you've got proof. And a guarantee.
The Toronto Argonauts are knocking on the door, looking to break this 11-all tie with 2:46 to go in the half. I'm Jeff Currier with Dan Kepley. Great day at Commonwealth Stadium. Great football game. Flutie to the pinball. He drops it. They had the mismatch they wanted, and the pinball couldn't hang on.
You're exactly right. They just faked the play action to one side. Doug Flutie wants to pivot and throw to Mike Pinball Clements coming out of the backfield. 1-on-1 against Maurice Miller, the linebacker. There he is. Mike just turns his head and tries to run just slightly before he gets his hands on it. And I can't say it any worse. He feels that he knows he should have caught that football.
Miller playing linebacker for the injured senior Mobley, who's smaller and is a better cover guy. And the Argos are trying to work on him today. In the shotgun on 2nd down. He's got a man wide open. Jump ball incomplete. Dwayne Dimitrition was wide open. And finally, Beattie came over to lay a lick on him, but the ball was thrown high by Flutie.
I think Doug got a little too much air underneath that, more than he wanted anyway, and the ball hung up there, allowed the defensive back, Derek Beattie, to get a play and at least get a good break on it. Didn't get his hands on the ball, but he's got his helmet in the chest of the receiver, Dimitrition. Take a look. The ball goes high right through the hands of the intended receiver. Just to make sure Beattie puts that helmet under the chin.
This is going to be a 22-yard field goal attempt by Mike Vanderjack. Flutie bobbles the snap, but Vanderjack still manages to get it through. Boy, field goal kicking's been a bit of an adventure here today. Argos lead it 14-11, 2:25 to go in the half.
The definition of a mother, your mom. The definition of one tough mother, every CFL player. When it comes to football, there's only one way to play it. The right way. Our way. Radically Canadian. the Canadian Football League. It's our game. It's longer, wider, faster, and more exciting. Every game is an event, a party. Canadian football has been a tradition for over 105 years, and it's still kicking. The CFL. Now you too can be a radical Canadian by wearing radical hats, t-shirts, sweatshirts, and golf shirts, all from Starter Canada. Get radical from only $19.99. Call 1-800-817-4CFL. These items are not available in any store. The only way you can get radical is to call now. Dare to be different. Get radical. Be Canadian. The Canadian Football League, it's radically Canadian. Call 1-800-817-4CFL now.
From ESPN Labs, ESPN Net Sports Zone. Updated nearly 1,000 times an hour, it always has something new to make you a better fan. ESPN Net Sports Zone. Technology for you.
Toronto Argonauts have taken the lead. Doug Glutie upset that he hasn't been able to get the ball into the end zone more than once so far today. He expects to score every time.
He really does. He thinks he has the weapons out there that he can do it given the time. And this is where Doug Glutie is so effective. He can create possession drives and just wear you down defensively.
Edmonton Eskimos are going to have pretty good field position after this kickoff return by the Gizmo. Here's a look at that Argos scoring drive. They moved the ball convincingly, had the ball a long time.
That's part of Toronto's best defense. Even though when their defense is on the field, it plays pretty tough, pretty physical. But their best defense is Doug Glutie because he keeps possession of the football. 5 minutes, 46 seconds in that last drive.
Danny McManus now looking to respond. Time to run the 2-minute drill with 2:19 to go at his 49-yard line. One hop that one to Eddie Brown. The fans won't take too long before they start getting on Danny Mac here.
Now, Danny Mac has had a tough go of it since coming to Edmonton. He signed as a free agent in the offseason. This is his first start and had a really rocky start at the beginning. They were calling for his head early. This Edmonton Eskimo team and this Edmonton city is used to winning football games. They do not put up too well with mediocrity.
He'll go in the shotgun on second down. They give him time. He delivers over the middle. It's incomplete, but flags all over the place. There's no question about it. Johnny Harris hit the receiver, Mark Tolbert, well before the football got there. And the Eskimos will get a freebie.
You not only had the two officials that saw it, but about 20,000 fans here plus that let it be known very quickly. Listen to Jake.
Forward pass interference. Toronto number 7. First down.
So no, I didn't do it. He'll see it in the video session tomorrow.
There it is. Curl route. Ball throwing back. Tolbert does a good job. Once he makes that curl, bends it up, he brings it back toward the quarterback. That forced Johnny Harris to have to go over his shoulder. There was contact.
First down, Eskimos at the Argonaut 51-yard line. Tony Burse keeping his balance. Picks up a few.
What a great effort by this back. Dumps the ball off to him. The cornerback, Donald Smith, comes in and just makes almost a shoestring tackle, knocks him around, spins him and twirls him, keeps his balance, keeps his feet driving, and picks up a few yards rather than a big loss.
Physical corners.
Take a look at this. Here he comes. Hits him right at the knee. He's not going to go down. Now he's going to try to make a move. Tries to get away from Mike O'Shea, but hey, Shea says, come back here, big guy.
2nd and 8. In the gun again. Tipped and it's picked off. It's Namako. Submarined at the 35, but it's intercepted going through the hands of the intended receiver, Darren Flutie, and George Namako has his first interception of the year.
Namako, normally a backup, getting an opportunity to start this game. Now look at this, the ball's thrown. It goes high and off of the hands of Darren Flutie. Tip drill.
Namako with a great chance for a statement today, Dan, because Dan Murphy, the other safety for the Eskimos, has been suspended by the team. Sent home today.
Yeah, something happened to him. I mean, he was listed on the depth chart. He'd been injured a bit, but Don Matthews doesn't put up with any crap. He sent him home.
On first down, the Eskimos close in a hurry. Flutie on the carry, but he'll only get a couple.
First and 10 or second and 10, I don't think it makes too much difference to Doug Glutie. He goes in there with the same kind of attitude. Going to come out, runs the quarterback draw. But this Edmonton defense, with nobody else in the backfield, they're pretty daggone smart. They key on Doug Glutie. He tucks it underneath. All they do is collapse the pocket on him.
Third time today he's called his own number. He looked like they practiced against that some this week. Second and 9.
Watch Ty Williams.
There it is, over the middle, incomplete. In lots of traffic, over the middle was Jimmy Cunningham.
This is what's so great about Doug Glutie when he runs his offense, is that he can put all those weapons in different positions and everybody knows and they can run and they can do the same thing with different personnel. It puts a strain on the defense. And the defense of the Edmonton Eskimos rose to the occasion there. Minute 16 to go. Stops Doug Glutie, and they'll get the ball back into Danny Mack's hands.
Eskimos should get it back in good field position. Great coverage again on the gizmo. The Argos get down in a hurry. Don Wilson and company, and there is a penalty flag. There's Darryl Adrellin, the special teams coach for the Argonauts. Little discussion. Here's Jack Ireland.
Major foul. Unnecessary roughness. Toronto number 50. First down.
Mike O'Shea, the middle linebacker. Let's take a look at him just at the top of your screen. And that's Willie Pless that he's after. No, it's another one. Guy just standing around. Whistle been blown. Hey, don't unbuckle your chin strap. That's number 17, Derek Beatty. Mike O'Shea, you got to be smart. As I said, you cannot hurt yourself in crucial situations. It's all right to be physical, but be disciplined with your aggression.
There's a completion on the run. Big play for the Eskimos. Into Toronto territory to the 25-yard line. Darren Flutie. Don Wilson over there on the coverage, but when Darren Flutie runs that crossing pattern and you give him some room, he's got decent speed.
Hey, this is what I like about Danny Mack also. Darren Flutie, the ball was tipped last time. He gets an interception. First play back, he comes right back to him and says, hey, get it done. Let's get some confidence. Darren Flutie showing how well he can run after the catch.
In the final minute of the half, McManus looking to put his team up, delivers, knocked away, big play inside. Adrian Smith, the corner, covering on Eddie Brown.
Don't hang anything up around these guys here. Adrian Smith has 5 picks out of Southwest Missouri State. This is his 3rd year. Take a look at it. Makes a good break on the ball, gets that right hand, almost comes up with his 6th of the season.
You can't play defense for Don Matthews without a bit of an attitude.
No, you have to. That's right. The coach has an attitude. The offensive line has an attitude. The defenses has an attitude. The kickers have attitudes.
43 seconds to go in the half. Looking into the end zone, incomplete. Another great job of coverage, this time by Don Odegaard, the veteran out of UNLV. Shalon Baker was the receiver.
Odegaard does do a great job, stride for stride with Shalon Baker. Now, this is a tough catch. You can't see it up here, but look how the shadows are going. As Shalon Baker's looking back, it is right into the sun. It wouldn't have made any difference. Odegaard was all over him step for step.
We have another field goal attempt coming up. This will be between 33 and 34 yards for Sean Fleming to tie it up. It's good. Got a tie ball game with 35 seconds to go in the half.
Now also in the Canadian Football League, after a converted field goal, Toronto has the opportunity of either taking and scrimming the ball on the 35-yard line or receiving the kickoff. I think you saw right there, Don Matthews make the motion. He wants to receive. He wants to get it into the hands of either Jimmy the Jet or Mike Clements.
You can see the breadth of the players and Coach Ron Lancaster. There's the offensive line coach, Bill McDermott. It's cold here today.
Hey, well, Jeff, you know, when we flew in last night, it was around 11:30 when we got in here. It was a clear night. It was kind of crisp, but it was no snow. And when he woke up this morning, it was just blanketed on here.
Jed Roberts, the leading special teams tackler for the Edmonton Eskimos this year. He's a second-generation CFLer. His father, Jay, was a tight end for the Ottawa Rough Riders back in the 60s.
And the great thing about him also, he plays with a slight impairment where he wears 2 hearing aids. He had some problem as a child with his hearing, but he wears them during the game and they stay intact somehow. Just a great compliment to him. And he gives you like 200% effort every time he steps on the field also.
There's the Jet. Having a little trouble with his footing on this grass field today. It's wet, and it's the only grass field left in the CFL. Fleming's kickoff. Hangs it high. The pinball will take this one at his 7. He's got a seam. Flags down. Pinball. Dancing. Looking for more room up to the 35.
I think we're going to bring it back. I think we're going to have an illegal block against number 21. That's George DeMacco, the safety.
Guess who made the tackle?
Hey, the guy we just spoke of, number 43, Jed Roberts.
He's not a little guy.
Oh, he's a house.
Take it back. Holding. Toronto number 21. First down.
George DeMacco, who has the interception for the Argos today, will set his team back some with 26 seconds to go in the half. Now, Doug Glutie still thinks that this is a scoring opportunity.
Doug says, he said, well, that just means I'm down here on the 15-yard line. I only have just a little longer to go than I normally would have, so I might as well put it upstairs. I backfield, look for him to run it.
Glutie does call his own number. Bulls ahead behind the center, Mike Kislak.
It's got to tell you something. I mean, when Clemens and Drummond line up in an I formation in the backfield, we've never seen that. Haven't seen it all this game. Something's up. There's red lights and red flags that come up. Doug Glutie sits there and tries to catch. Edmonton's just sleeping just a bit. Goes on that quarterback sneak. Second and about 1, it looks like.
Looks like Glutie is ready to just grind this out. So they're going to take the conservative route.
Into the half.
That'll do it. Final play of the half. Nothing has been settled yet. Ron Lancaster heading off to the end zone, into his locker room. We got a tie game.
Out in one swing with the